Hey, this is Johnny Beane, and we are live. It's 3:01 p.m. Eastern Time on is it April? It's still April, huh? April
Mhm.
20th, 2020. It's 420 today. It's some sort of holiday, I hear.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Every day's a damn blur these days. You can't keep track of anything. I don't even know what day it is, let alone if it's a holiday or not.
Yeah, it's Monday. It's Monday afternoon. It's 12 p.m. here in Santa Cruz, California. I was here with Rob Johnson. He just left.
I'm still here. Just grabbing one thing I forgot to grab to show later on. So.
The bathroom door is open again, but that's okay.
Yeah, I know. So I'll keep my elbow here. I'll keep my elbow here so you can't see the toilet.
Oh, okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Welcome, everybody. And before we start, look at this. You can now become a channel member on the Johnny Bean TV channel. And that's on YouTube, by the way. I know we're live on Facebook as well. But if you would like to help out with these videos and everything, you can jump over to YouTube and become a member. You get a lot of perks. You get a lot of bonus stuff. I actually decided I'll be doing videos every day from now on the channel. As you know, we've got our scheduled videos. Not Mondays. What am I saying? There we go. Tuesdays and Fridays at 8 p.m. Eastern. And also we do Saturdays at 11:55 Eastern Time, p.m. But I'm thinking I'll do other videos all those other days and do them for the channel members.
Very
So
cool.
they'll be hidden. They'll be invisible unless you're a member. But if you are a member, like let's say Charles Green and Music Therapy Laz, Robbie Johnston, Mike Neese, and Michael Smith, those are some of our executive producers.
We got Robbie Johnston and Connor Johnston. Man, people are
Yeah.
calling my name here.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be popular anymore. People are stealing my name.
Yeah. If you're a member, if you're a member of the channel, you'll see those videos. You'll see them on the community tab. That's the one place you want to go. So on the channel here, you want to click the community tab, and that's where you'll see all the bonus content, the videos, the extra stuff. There's a lot of cool stuff. But yeah. So Rob,
what's happening?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing fantastic today. I got some cool stuff to show everybody. And it's good. It's a beautiful day outside today. It is sun shining, and it's nice because people are starting to mow their lawns now, and because you can do that, obviously. People can be outside mowing their grass. So, the last couple of months, everybody's kind of hibernating in the house because it's so cold. And now,
speaking of 420, they can be outside mowing their grass. They can be inside with their grass. Although I've never touched the stuff, so I wouldn't know.
I don't have to either because I live in a condo now. So
and nobody believes me. Nobody believes me that I've never done that.
You've never mowed grass?
No, never.
Well, the ladies shave these days, so.
Oh my gosh!
Sorry,
that's not even what I'm talking about. But...
I was gonna say, man, you're definitely behind the times, Johnny.
I actually saw a. Do you know Tim and Eric? Remember Tim and Eric? Awesome show, great job.
Yeah.
Remember those guys? They've got a new show now called Beef House, and I just saw a clip on Twitter, and somebody said something about something, and one of the guys came in, and he basically made that same remark you just did. It's the exact same thing. Oh, Barney.
Rick Ruth said, yes, I do have an Instagram, and Barney, shut up. And it is Rob CJ 5150. Rob C. Charlie J. Jameson 5150. So check it out.
Cool.
But yeah,
cool.
It's cool. Beautiful here. So had a great workout today. I'm off, and definitely got some cool stuff. I got a surprise guest coming tomorrow. And I don't know, maybe
nice.
maybe we could do a quick show or something. We'll have to be 6 feet apart, but
I told you I'm doing shows every day now.
yeah,
Yeah, actually, maybe that could be a show for the channel members.
I don't know how long he's staying, but it would definitely be cool. Well, we'll just take it off with that. We got to say hellos to everybody, but just real quick, we'll talk about it after. But Jimmy Carr is coming to visit me tomorrow, and
Jimmy Carr.
And he's coming. He's been home. He is safe. He's been tested. He's not sick or anything, and neither am I. I'm safe, and we're both actually have a lot of free time this week. So Jimmy Carr is coming from Rhode Island. I don't think he's in the chat yet, but he will be. And so he's coming to visit. We're going to play some guitar tomorrow. He wants to see the new guitar room because the last time Jimmy came to see me was like 7 or 8 months ago, and I was still at my old place. So, so that'll be cool. That'll definitely be cool. Actually, I'm going to text him right now and let him know we're live.
That would be cool because remember that one time you guys were on with us on a Saturday? Do you remember that on a Saturday night you guys were on with us, and that video ended up
That
video ended up getting 13,000 views. Remember that?
Yeah, I was at his house. That was last year. Yeah. Yep.
So you guys might be the magical pair.
And then Hubbard's coming out to visit me in 3 weeks. And
there he is. Hey, Chris. Chris is here. Chris
Hubbard is here. Yeah, we're going to talk in a few minutes about Chris's visit in a few weeks. And like I said, he's coming out in about 3 weeks, and he's bringing a bunch of equipment for my new baby balance rig that you guys have seen and heard about. We'll talk about that later. And he's taken 2 of my Peavey 5150 combos that I've had, and he's building this ultimate massive balance rig like Eddie's. And so we'll get into all that. But yeah, it's cool. We probably ought to do a roll call, huh?
Let's see that. Yeah. Go ahead and do that. Let me find some. I'll find some pictures to show off.
All right, who do we got in here? So let's see. We have Aiden Ukana. What's going on? Hey, Johnny Beane's here. Hi, Johnny.
Hey.
Sandra. What's happening? Poo Ninja. James. Hef is here. What's happening, Hef? Hef and I were chatting this morning. Thank you for letting me know on the neck plate. I have a Tone 5 neck plate, but I'll explain to you what I was trying to do in a little while. Just remind me, Hef, to explain what that was all about. There's the baby balance rig. Who else we got? We got Brian Spalding. We got Bent is here. Ben Coombs. What's happening, Ben? Fruitcake Tony. What's happening? Stream Elements. What's up, guys? Caleb is here. What's up, Caleb? How you doing, my friend? Caleb from Nerd Halen, ladies and gentlemen. Frank Corcoran, Connor Johnson, 5150, Football Legends, Richard Morales, Renus Pinkle. Well, the joke I was just going to say in a minute is he already said the name under there. But Rick, Michael James, what's going on? Michael James, you are like posting a million Ernie Ball music band pictures. I was gonna message you earlier today, be like, "Are you bored or something?"
Oh, there's nothing wrong. There's nothing.
No. I'm joking. I'm just joking because my point being is, Mike, keep it up because you're posting some really awesome stuff. And Michael James is Ernie. For those of you that don't know, Michael James is Ernie Ball Music Man, EVH, BMM EVH on Instagram, and he's been posting some incredible.
Oh, okay.
That is Michael James.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I like those. I like those under my. I've got a Van Halen guitar account that I use called EVH Gear Live.
Right.
And that's me. Just so you know, you guys, that's me.
Oh yeah, I got one on too.
Yeah.
You can't see it.
Oh, let's see.
Okay, hold on. Actually, I have the new shirt. I have the EVH, and it's the stealth guitar. I don't know if you guys can see it.
Thumbnail.
It's so damn cold. I know. Yeah.
That could have gone very wrong.
I'll make sure it doesn't. And Barney. What's up, Barney? And we have Paleface is here. We have said Rick. Hugh, what's going on, Hugh? Hugh Caldwell. Chris Hubbard. We knew that. Jimmy Ka. Jimmy finally jumped in. See you
Hey,
tomorrow.
Jimmy. Yeah, looking forward to seeing Jimmy on here, and even Chris Hubbard. Looking forward to seeing you on here, man. It's been a long time.
Well, Jimmy is coming out tomorrow morning, and we're gonna hang out, play some guitar, and maybe depending on how long he has, I'm trying to see if he can spend the evening here and go back on Wednesday. But he might just be able to spend the day. It kind of depends on what he's got going on. But play some guitar, and maybe we could jump on. But the last time we did that, I was actually out at his place, and we went live, and I think that's what Johnny's talking about. He had like 1 million people watching that.
That video got 13 or 14,000 views. That one.
Yeah.
It just kept going and going and going. Michael Smith, I remember, was texting me, and he's like, "What's going on?" You know, and I think I know why. I think I know what actually happened there. But it's of course of Jimmy Carr.
It's Jimmy Carr.
Jimmy Carr, you got to come back, man.
Yeah. Well, maybe
tomorrow.
Maybe tomorrow we'll jump on for a little while.
Tomorrow, man.
He should be getting here around 10 o'clock Eastern time, and he's going to bring his little Yamaha THR 10X because my whole guitar rig is completely torn apart. The two Peavey 5150 combos are gone.
Here's my baby Van Halen rig right here.
Yeah. No pun intended. Yeah. I like that little thing. I love mine.
Oh yeah, there's still a battery in there. Look at that.
I want to get the EL34 version, actually.
Yeah, these are cool.
Music therapy. What's going on?
That's cool.
What's happening?
Music therapy Laz is here.
Mm-hmm.
Music therapy. There you are. There you are, man. Good to see you.
Night Bob.
Stephen Willard. Hey, dude.
Can we be friends on Facebook? Sure. Absolutely. Send me a friend request. Send me a friend request. Oh, the other thing too is, guys, sometimes if somebody if people that I don't recognize friend request me, and if I don't recognize you, I usually accept them anyways. But what I do is I usually
okay.
Well, if I look,
why even continue talking that after that point? It's like, okay, I don't know who you are, but I'll accept you anyway. But
if I see that you're like friends with, you know, Johnny or one of those guys, I know you're a guitar person, so I usually accept. The only time I usually don't is if it's obviously, you know, someone that is fake, or if it's just someone that I have no friends with at all that we have mutual, and I'm like, who the hell is this? It's like, no. But yeah, send me a request.
Man, I was getting, I was getting all kinds of sketchy requests, and it always said mutual friend David Nestle. And it was happening nonstop.
That has happened to me too before.
Those you can't trust those. I'm almost to the limit though, man. I'm at 4,900 something, so I can only accept like 90 more people on mine, and then mine's done.
Ben, you said hot Russian ladies. Well, a couple of my ex-girlfriends were hot Russian ladies, and so the last one was that Johnny met her. I brought her out to NAMM with me.
Yeah, but, yeah. We were at the Hard Rock Cafe, I remember, and we were looking at the Kramer, the Neptune.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, the Neptune Kramer guitar.
Yep.
Which was very cool.
Well, I tried the Russian thing, and then I swapped over to the Brazilian thing, and that didn't work out. now I might go back to Americans. I don't know. I'm kind of playing it cool right now. I'm just kind of,
Oh my God.
So yeah, we're gonna definitely have some cool shows coming up. Well, Johnny's got some really cool stuff coming up on his own.
Yeah. Yeah. No. I'm
not going to say that.
Don't mention any of those names I told you, because that's all.
He's got some cool stuff coming up, but we do have some visitors, like I said, coming. So we'll have Jimmy Carr tomorrow, and then if you guys can hold out for a few weeks, Chris Hubbard, like we said, he will be here. He'll be visiting, and when he comes, we're actually going out to Jimmy Carr's house, because Jimmy Carr is actually getting a. Well, I mean, I can say it. Jimmy's getting a power amp from Chris. So we're probably going to make a trip out to see Jimmy Carr, because he's only like an hour and a half away from me in Rhode Island. So maybe we'll get a chance to hang the three of us on with Johnny or the show.
Oh, dude. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It should be pretty cool.
Definitely.
Penn says Rob's a worldly man.
I
Yeah,
know. Look at this. Look what you're doing in here, man.
I've actually I've been around the globe pretty good, relationship wise. I actually had that. Oh well, hey.
Here.
Tough work, but someone's got to. Remember Ricky Rackman and Viva Van Halen Saturday?
Yeah.
He's complaining. He's like, "Oh, they sent me to Breckenridge, and then I had to go to Tokyo, Japan, and then I got back, and they said, "Oh, Ricky, we got to send you down to Cabo San Lucas now. It's a tough job, but someone's got to do it."
Yeah, I remember that. Well, here, field this one. Aiden has a question for you. It looks like
Kramer or Wolfgang? Both. That's why I have 40 guitars. What kind of that would be my first answer. Buy them both.
Well, I would say
it depends what you're looking for. They're both totally different.
Well, I mean, I would say Aiden. As far as Wolfgang, you can't go wrong with any Wolfgang. Any Wolfgang, regardless, you can't go wrong with it. With Kramer, you can go wrong.
Yeah.
There's certain Kramers you don't want to touch.
Right.
And John BL the other night demonstrated that. If you watch the Saturday night show from the other night, John BL, he got a Kramer, one of those real cheap ones, and the headstock was busted off, and it was crazy.
Yeah,
it was crazy.
You have to be careful, and a lot of people have. Speaking of that, that's Johnny.
Okay, I guess I can make an announcement because the guy just said okay.
Well, Johnny said real quick. He said Kramer, you got to be careful, and a lot of people have this misconception that if it's an old Kramer, an '80s Kramer, you're good to go. Doesn't matter what it is, but it's not necessarily just that case. I mean, yeah, some of the new Kramers you have to be careful, but there are some of the older ones you got to be careful too. If you are going to go for a Kramer, I would suggest the Beretta Pacer, one of those. Those are usually pretty good. And if you can afford one of the older 80s versions, those are usually, pretty top notch. For the most part, check the, the condition and all that. But like Johnny said also, the Wolfgangs, you can't go wrong.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I just got a message, and so I guess I can make an announcement. The guy said cool. All right, looks like Friday, May 1st. Is that an actual date?
Is that this time?
April? No, next.
Yeah. It is.
Friday, May 1st on the channel here. I'll have Billy Sheehan.
Wow.
So there you go. Thank you. Cool. Yeah, he says cool. So
that is awesome.
You guys are hearing it first right here. Friday, May 1st. Regular time, 8 o'clock Eastern, Billy Sheehan.
Nice.
So there you go.
That'll be a good show. He's got some really
yeah, that'll be cool. That'll be cool, man. So now what?
That pretty much just kind of took everybody's breath away.
No. Keep going. What were you saying? That's might as well,
Yeah, I think there's no better time to announce that. That's awesome. All you guys watching next Friday, May 1st, Billy Sheehan.
A week from Friday.
Yes, a week.
Not this Friday. We have somebody else this Friday. I should probably announce him too, but he needs to get back to me.
John Mancuda? No.
Oh no, he's tomorrow.
No, I know. I'm kidding. But Jeff Alexander, what's going on? Yeah, Kevin, you're right. Sheehan he's badass. He is probably that guy can play bass like Eddie Van Halen can play guitar. I mean, he's just freaking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's funny you say that too, because actually last night I was watching watching YouTube, and videos, they're in your suggested, area, kind of like here.
Yeah.
And I found there's actually a violin player that's the Eddie Van Halen of violin.
There's a guy that posted something on YouTube a couple of years ago. He was playing Eruption on violin.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember.
Was it electric violin? This was an electric violin player.
Maybe.
And actually, she was actually using a whammy pedal.
Oh,
and like delay pedals, and she was playing Eruption. Yeah.
No, this was a dude. I don't remember. No, that's somebody different than that.
Did somebody just break in? What?
Dog. What did the dog? No, the dog's playing.
Somebody just walked in the door.
No, they're chasing each other around here. Going nuts.
Jeff Alexander, that's right, man. You can't go wrong with a Peavey Wolfgang. Just any Wolfgang. The
Right.
EVH gear Wolfgangs, anything that says Wolfgang on it, as long as it's an actual, Wolfgang guitar, you can't go wrong with any of them. They're all great. Kramer guitars, on the other hand, like we were saying, there's some of the cheaper ones you kind of want to stay away from.
Yeah.
You know.
And if you're a Music Man fan, I mean, if you can find the Eddie Van Halen Music Man signature guitars or an EX or even the
Mhm.
Active, those are great guitars. A lot of people love those necks. I mean, my problem is I love them all. I mean, seriously, my first comment was buy them all. Well, I'm not necessarily joking. I mean, obviously that's not realistic for a lot of people. I mean, they don't come. Money doesn't grow on trees. They're very expensive items. I get that. So you want to find something that, if you're on a budget and you can only afford one or two guitars, yeah. What do you buy? I think the first thing I would say is, first off, what kind of style are you looking for? Are you looking for a Strat style? A lot of people like the Strat styles because they have the belly bevel, so they fit on they're smaller bodies, they're more comfortable.
Mhm.
Some people like the feel of the Stratty necks, depending on what it is. You also have, if you're a Van Halen fan and you want to, stripe something up and do something like that and make a replica guitar, that's also something that should come into play in the decision-making process. But also, if you are looking for Kramer, another option is you can have one custom made. It necessarily isn't a Kramer, but you have Musicraft out there. You have Lock Custom Guitars. You have Butala. You have a whole bunch of, well, those are three main companies that you can have pretty much any type of Kramer body, Beretta, Pacer, banana hockey stick headstock, beak neck, Stratty, whatever you want. You can have those items custom built. And I'm going to get into the neck that I have right here in a few minutes, because this is the neck that's going on my Dragon Snake that I just got in today. And I'll be explaining this in a few minutes. So you can also have one built. So yeah, going with a company like Kramer, that's an option. But like the Wolfgangs, Johnny can attest to this. And I'll let him run with this for a second. But the Peavey Wolfgang necks are totally different than the Music Man, and in my opinion, the Music Man and the EVH Wolfgangs. Not in a bad way. Not in a bad way.
No, not bad at all. Not bad at all. No, they're great. They're great, but for some reason I just had, issues with, I couldn't go to or from a Peavey Wolfgang from anything else. For some reason, just the way that neck feels, if like, let's say,
if you pick it up initially, it's fine. You play
yeah, if that's the only guitar that I'm playing, it's fine. But I can't, let's say I was playing a Peavey Wolfgang and I snapped a string, I wouldn't be able to pick up another guitar. I mean, of course I could, but it's just, there's just a weirdness,
right?
Just a feeling, some sort of weird. I don't know what it is. Does anybody else? Does anybody? Does that happen? Has it happened to anybody else? Or is it just me? And hello, David Ennis.
David Ennis. I just took the words out of my mouth. What's up?
There's the David Ennis Wolfgang right there.
Yeah.
Thank you again, David Ennis.
My response to what Johnny said was, this isn't a Wolfgang neck, but the reason I agree with Johnny is because on the Wolfgangs, they're a fatter neck. They're wider, not necessarily wider this way, but they're fatter this way to me. And they're just beefier to hang on to. And again, like Johnny said, it's one thing if if you start with that, it's fine. But especially as you get up to the, higher up on the neck, it just gets wider. It gets, the term I've heard before is baseball batish. It feels bigger. And again, not a bad thing. Not a bad thing. I mean, obviously Eddie loved it because he went from a Music Man to that. And that was he played those guitars for from 1990, end of 95, all the way up to 2007. 2004, Peavey, the deal ended. But he still played the Peaveys from 04 to 2007. He still played that Peavey while he was tweaking those EVH lines. And then when they were finally released, he switched over to them. But he was still playing the Peavey Wolfgangs in 2007, prior to the tour. Because there's pictures of warm-up gigs. I have a picture of warm-up gigs for the 2007 tour with Roth. and Eddie's got a bunch of Peaveys in his rack. And that picture actually caused some problems from what I've read, because he was, at the time, he was working with Fender. But it wasn't anything Eddie did wrong. It was just, they were still tweaking those guitars. And that's where the number 4 guitar came from and all those. But again, a major departure, because I just feel a fatness to that neck on the Peaveys. Would you agree, Johnny?
No. No, to me, the Peaveys are thin.
Really?
They're not fat at all.
See, they feel fatter to me. That's interesting you said that. That's very interesting.
No, they're flat and they're more flat and wide. You know,
well, why?
To me, they're flat and wide. The Ernie Ball Music Man Van Halens are smaller and more compact. They're not really wide at all. They're like real tiny.
Right. Well, that's what I meant. I meant wide. Fat and wide are two different things. I probably should have used the term wide. Yeah, I agree with that.
Oh yeah, fat and wide are well. Something can be fat and wide.
We're talking about a person, maybe not, but on a guitar.
Oh no. I'm not talking about that, but
because also the fret size is different. Yeah, I think I'm not sure what they are.
Oh yeah. Yeah. When you go between, two guitars, and let's say if you're playing, the really, really small, stainless steel frets, and you go to another guitar that has the nickel frets that are bigger. Yeah. You definitely feel a difference, but it's a difference, on the top with the fingers. You really, really feel them with the, the fingers, not so much, here. You kind of do, I guess, but maybe that was the deal. Maybe it was just because of maybe it was a combination of the fret size and just the shape of the neck.
And everybody responds differently. I mean, somebody just said a second ago, Jeff Alexander says, jumping from Peaveys to Music Mans and never had a problem myself. Yeah, I mean, everybody's a little different. I mean, that's the interesting thing about guitar players. Everybody has a different, And it's actually funny, Johnny, because this same question came up to me on Messenger. I got a message yesterday from one of the people that watch all our shows, and the question was, hey, I've owned a Ernie Ball Music Man signature guitar, and I sold it years ago, and I picked up a Ernie Ball Music Man Axis guitar, not an EX, the regular Axis, that started making. And the question was, why does the neck feel different to me? Is there, am I messed up, or is there something different? Am I missing something? And I remember actually reading a lot about this. And again, I'm not referring to the EX. I'm referring to the basic Axis. When Ernie Ball Music Man discontinued the EVH series at the end of '95, and they converted one over to the Axis, the necks are different. Once you get beyond the 12th fret on the Axis guitars, they do get a little bit wider.
They get wider.
Right.
They get wider. Yeah.
And they are different. They are a little bit.
Yeah. They're not the same. I hate to say it. They're not the same. I've played both side by side, actually. You remember the other night when we were talking to Alex Skolnick, we were talking about the studio that we would rehearse at and hang out at all the time and stuff. Yeah. I used to hang out. A friend of mine had actually, he had a recording studio in the Old Testament rehearsal room. Yeah. Actually, it was Testament used it, and another band called Third Eye Blind used to use it. It was their room as well.
They were a great band. I love those guys.
Yeah. Actually, I might be having the former bass player of that band on here.
Oh, that's cool.
He's a friend. He's a friend. And another friend of mine is like, hey, we should get him on here. So, cool. Anyway, and he's a friend of Jason Becker's too. Yeah. Who actually will be another guest on here. There's so many things going on, man. It's crazy.
That's awesome.
But what am I saying? There's a studio that this friend of mine was making a recording studio, and he was using this room. Anyway, I would show up and do a lot of recording. I was like, the guinea pig. I would bring, my amps, my guitars, and record, a bunch of stuff. And anyway, he had a Music Man Axis, and I would take my EVH, Music Man, and I would play them both, for tracks, recording side by side. And there's definitely a difference between the two guitars.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they look the same in the front, except for where the switch is.
Mm-hmm.
The switch is in a different spot. You know, on the Music Man, it's up here. On the Axis, it's down here.
Right.
The backs are different because the Axis has what you call a belly cut.
Yeah, like a body contour. Yeah.
The body contour. You know, the EVH one is flat. You know, flat back. But the necks are definitely, the only way they're similar is like way up here.
Right.
You know, way up here where you're doing the cowboy chords. Maybe they're similar-ish, but the further you keep going, you really start to feel a difference.
What I was told by a representative at Music Man a few years ago, because I called Music Man to get a date on a serial number for something. I forget what it was. Can't recall. And we got into very nice people. And we got into, well, this guy was anyways. And I'm sure the rest of them are too. But we got into a pretty good conversation on the Music Mans and the EVH versions. And this guy was very, very knowledgeable. And actually, this is where, now I remember what the phone call was about. The phone call was about a serial number, but we also got into some serious conversation on the EX guitars. And that's where I learned so much, because this guy was actually involved with the transfer process when that happened. But back to the regular Axis, Johnny's completely right. He told me that basically from the 1st fret up to about the 7th fret, the neck is basically the same. Once you get beyond the 7th up to the 9th, and definitely up at the 12th fret and beyond, is where you really start to feel that difference. And again, not a bad difference. It's not necessarily bad. It's just different. So nobody's saying they're better or they're worse. I mean, it's completely, it depends. And it's interesting because Eddie's preference in necks over the years, you know, you look at back in the 70s and 80s, he was playing Strats, and he was playing, you know, real wide necks, and you know, back on like the Frankie, and he was back and forth. The guy can play anything. And then he goes to the 5150 when he got the Kramer, and it's a very thin neck with, you know, very asymmetrical and interesting profile. And then we switched over to Music Man. He basically reproduces that Kramer 5150 neck, and because he just loved it. And so basically you could say Eddie played that neck probably from 1983, or say I wouldn't even say 82 in the Diver Down Tour, because Eddie was still throwing Strat necks on Frankie at that time. But 83, when the 5150 was built, when he fell in love with that guitar, all the way up to 1983 to 1995, is basically he played that profile, that same neck, because that's what he played with the Music Mans. And then Peavey comes along, and he's working with Jim DeCola on the Wolfgang design. Really cool guy, by the way. And he changes the neck profile. It's different. It's just different. Not worse or bad or good, or, you know, it's just different. And I think that's kind of back to our original topic. You know, Johnny has a hard time. Of course he could play it. He's a guitarist. He can adapt and overcome.
I can play anything.
Right.
I can play anything, but it's just
there's a big difference.
There's a definite difference between not just those, but I would say anything and the Peavey Wolfgang neck.
Yeah,
I would say. I mean, if anybody in the chat, let me know what you think. But you know, I would say the Peavey Wolfgang neck is very unique to itself. There's nothing else out there that feels like it. You know, to me, I've never played anything else that feels like a Peavey Wolfgang neck.
And you know what I find really interesting, Johnny, is the Peavey Wolfgang standard necks, to me, are different than the Peavey Wolfgang special necks, even on the deluxe.
Yeah.
Like my green,
they probably are, actually. They probably are different.
My green deluxe, the Sustainer guitar, it's a Peavey Wolfgang special USA deluxe in green with a Sustainer. I love the neck. It's amazing. But that feels more EVH-ish to me. And then I pick up my red Flametop standard, and even my new EXP tobacco quilt top body. I just threw a USA standard neck on that. Actually put the standard neck on just to, you know. And those two guitars feel neck-wise different than I'm sitting here doing this, and that interesting.
I know you're doing that. You can see a toilet in the background. What's going on?
Why should you do that in the shower?
Oh my God! But hey, if you're listening to the podcast, it's all good. I forgot to mention that we're on iHeartRadio now, which is
That is awesome.
that's the place to be. Yeah.
But like Jeff Alexander says, interesting, and it is interesting, Jeff, because I'm telling you, if you play a Peavey Wolfgang standard neck, I love them to death, and then you play a Peavey Wolfgang special, whether it's a USA special or the EXPs, you really can't judge because they're different. But if you play a USA, again, not different in a bad way. I've played some decent EXPs.
I think they're all different. I think they're all a little different. I think with probably most guitars, when you go through the different levels of USA, Japanese, Korean, Indonesian, whatever it is, I would say they're all a little different.
I agree.
Otherwise, why would you buy one if the neck was exactly the same on the other?
Right.
I mean, you know what I mean? So it makes sense. It makes sense. And hey, Jay,
what's up? 7/8.
Jay, we have Billy Sheehan a week from Friday.
Isn't that awesome?
So tell your friends.
Tell your friends to tell their friends.
Yeah, tell them to tell their friends. And tell them to tell their friends. And then tell them to tell their friends.
Aiden Acuna says, what? And tell their friends.
And then get them to tell
their friends. And maybe someone will tell Billy Sheehan at the end. Once it's all over.
Yeah, well, it's a small world, man.
Yeah, I know. Aiden says, what tape size do you use to build a 5150? Well, the thick stripes are half-inch stripes, and the other stripes I'd have to look like an eighth inch and some different. There's some different widths. There's a couple crazy ones on there, but they are not 3/4. They're actually half-inch. The bigger stripes. I do know that, and the rest of the other ones I'd have to look at my template. But if you build a 5150 and you use 3/4 inch masking tape, it'll come out okay and it'll look okay, but it will be a little bit off. You got to get half-inch tape, or just use 3/4 inch tape and just cut it down.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you can totally tell. Actually, the other night we were looking at a guitar on Reverb or somewhere, and it was a striped up, Van Halen 5150 guitar, and the stripes are correct, but the tape size was wrong.
Right.
So you could definitely tell it's like there's something not totally, And
none of us really knew that years ago. I mean, when I built my first 5150, I used 3/4 inch tape, and I just eyeballed everything, and it looked cool. But as the years go on, and you see more pictures, and you start to say, something's a little different about that. But there's actually a template online somewhere. If you Google Kramer 5150 pics or pictures or whatever, you're going to get a ton of different images. And if you scroll down long enough, you will actually find, Jeff, I think it was Jeff that asked the question.
Should we do that? Should we look for that?
You might be able to, actually, if you want to look
what do I Google?
Google Kramer 5150 pictures template, something like that. And it'll you'll find a picture that's pretty world renowned out there, widely distributed, of a body of a 5150, a picture of Eddie's. And someone has actually broken down the exact sizes. They wrote the actual sizes of each stripe. And I know half-inch.
I've seen that around.
One of them is 1/8.
I've seen that around. Let me refill my tea really quickly.
Yeah.
And then I'll share my screen here because I think I have it. So ask Rob some questions. And Barry, this isn't boring. Come on. All right. I'll be right back.
All right. So we'll talk for a second. Hef, if you're still watching, I'll explain to you real quick what I was talking about on that neck plate. So on my Ernie Ball Music Man purple Axis EX that Craig's redoing right now, and he's sanded it all down, and he's going to make it a little bit brighter of a purple, a little bit more pronounced, so to speak. He's knee deep in the project right now. I shipped him the neck too. He's going to do the whole thing. So it should be coming back looking like a brand new guitar. So I'm pretty pumped. But back to that question. So the back of that particular guitar, when I got it, was interesting because it didn't have a neck plate on the back of it. A Music Man neck plate. It only had 4 screws. It didn't have 5 like a Music Man has. Has 5 screws on a neck plate, or an Axis or an EVH does, and so does an EX, Axis EX. But this particular one, it was the same. They were shaped the same, 2 here and 2 here, and they were missing this one here. But there was no neck plate. It was like a Peavey Wolfgang, or like an EVH, where they had the grommets and then just the screws. There was no neck plate. So I was like, huh, that's weird. What the heck's up with that? Axis EX never did that. So I did a little investigating, and I thought that it was called a Greco guitar. Now the company called Greco is out of Japan, and they made a bunch of Music Man copy guitars back in the 90s, and they did a great job on them. They're actually very good guitars. If you have the Guitar Man book, Eddie actually shows a picture of Eddie's red Greco, and it looked very similar to that, and it showed the back, and that didn't have a neck plate either. So I thought for a while it was a Greco. Then I did a little bit more research, and I found a couple of other differences. I talked to Hubbard a little bit, and we chatted on a couple of different things. And as it turns out, I'm about 99% sure that it is an EX, an Axis EX. However, that was one of the last EX guitars they made, and they were trying some different things that Peavey was doing at the time. And Peavey did not use a neck plate. They used the grommets with the 4 screws. They didn't use 5
grommets.
So, yeah, Johnny.
Remember how I was looking for grommets?
I was just thinking about that when I said that.
Remember, I was always looking for grommets, which actually I still am.
2 years later, we finally found him some grommets for his EVH.
Yeah, actually, I did get some, but I actually need another set. So if anybody's out there, if you have a set of grommets for an EVH Wolfgang, I do need.
Well, I'll send you 4 of them if I can get this thing to work. So,
if 4 people can send me 1 each, or if 8 people can send me half a grommet each,
yeah, half a grommet, we'll gorilla glue them together.
Or if 16 people can send.
So I'm looking at this guitar and I'm going, what is this? Well, I did some research and I found out it was one of the last EXs they made, and they made a couple of, well, they made one change anyways, and that was they didn't use a neck plate. They just used the 4 grommets and the screws. Like a
grommets. That's such a weird word, grommets.
Grommet. Sounds like grimace, like that.
A grommet.
Sounds like
a grommet isn't as funny as grommets. Grommets is funnier.
Remember big purple dinosaur Grimace? Not Barney. Grimace from McDonald's.
I don't think Grimace was a dinosaur. Was he?
He was a big turd or something.
I don't know what Grimace was. I don't think he was a dinosaur. I think he was just some sort of weird big purple, Beane. You were talking about big and wide earlier. That's Grimace.
That's
Was there a person in that outfit?
I don't know, but I remember as a kid going to there was
going to Burger King and asking, "Where's Grimace?"
No, seriously. I remember as a kid, my mom and dad brought me to McDonald's because they had all the McDonald's characters there. And there was a Burger King. We used to even have a Burger Chef. There was forget Burger Chef. There was a Burger King and then
Burger Chef.
Well, yeah. Well, Grimace actually showed up at Burger King first by accident. Walks in with his suit and then realized, oh shit, I'm at the wrong place. Walks out, he walked into McDonald's. Anyway, I don't even know what made me think of that, but
okay. Anyways,
so I decided I want to make the guitar look, as close to possible as one of the original Music Men, even though it was an EX. So what I did is I went out and I got a Music Man neck plate. It's actually made by a company called Tone 5. You can get them on eBay. It's an exact Music Man neck plate, same everything, and it will fit any Ernie Ball Music Man EVH or Axis. It will not fit an OLP, and it will not fit one of those Sterling. Those are different. So
And not different. No.
Yeah. Well, I got this just as a cover. I wasn't going to replace it and use different screws. I just wanted to put it more for looks. But I put it on, and the screws were actually, the screw holes where the grommets were actually a little wider. So I'm like, huh. So I mean, I could use this, but it looked kind of stupid because you could see the holes kind of were, you know, where the grommets went, and you could see them on the sides. That doesn't work.
Keep saying grommets. I heard a grommet was as a surfer. A baby surfer?
Brian's
A kid that surfs. You know, I live in Santa Cruz, so we have surfers here. I guess a kid that surfs is called a grommet. That's what they call them, grommets. It's a low-ranking surfer. That's what I'm hearing.
Brian Spalding says he had a Grimace drinking glass in 1970s, during the 1970s.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that Burger Chef or Burger Chief or whatever it was. I remember going when I lived in Arizona, in Phoenix. They must have had one of those because I had these Star Wars posters.
Yeah.
On the wall, you know, in my room. And, you know, years later, you know, watching YouTube, you see the commercials for the actual things. And it said from Burger Chief or Burger Chef. And it was those posters.
Yeah.
Those Star Wars posters. And also Brian just sent me a picture here. I'll show this real quickly.
We had 3. We had Burger Chef, Burger King, and McDonald's. And Burger Chef went out like in the late 80s. I've never seen any more since then.
No, they're gone. Okay, here's Brian in the chat. My friend Brian and my friend Dave Lopez, who was on here the other night with Alex Skolnick and some other guy holding some guitar you guys have maybe seen before.
Oh, very cool.
Come on.
Looks like Gallagher, the guy from Gallagher, smashed all the watermelons.
All right. It's too blurry. I can't even see it.
Who's the guy holding the neck? It looks like Gallagher, the guy who used to smash all the
That's Brian. Anyway.
Then he's famous then. That's awesome.
Okay. Yeah, this is why I screen share instead of do this. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay. That doesn't look anything like him now.
Okay, yeah, there's Brian, and then there's Dave Lopez, and then there's me, and that's my GMW. That's my GMW, and that's at Jason Becker's house.
Oh, who's that little kid on the far left?
That's me.
Oh, I know. I'm joking. I'm kidding.
That's that. I'm a grommet.
No, yeah. Evo8 YA says, Rob, you know anybody that makes cavity plates for the Music Man JP6s? I do not. But if you got on, if you search it or you Google it or get on eBay, you can probably find someone that makes a copy of it, kind of like these neck plates, same thing. Oh, but anyways, back to Hef real quick. So this plate didn't really work. So I was like, okay, no big deal. And then Hubbard sent me a picture last night of an OLP plate. And the OLP plate looks exactly the size of what the back of my EX is. And I said, wow, look at that. It only had 4 screws, not 5. It was wider. And actually, I got a picture here of it. Okay, so here is, so the picture over on everybody watching this on the far right is an OLP neck plate. The picture in the middle is my guitar. And you can see I actually drilled 3 little pilot holes, which are going to be all filled up, and Craig's done with it. So this neck plate would work. But as you can tell, it's the holes were too wide. Whoops. And the plate on the far left is what I found on eBay last night. And I think that will work. I'm not going to use I'm not going to use it to actually replace the grommets or anything. I'm just going to use it for show. So if I can get it to fit right over those holes, it'll look perfect. But so that's what I was looking for, Hef. But I actually found one, so I'm golden. Hef sends me a picture today of an actual OLP guitar. Hey, get this for the neck plate. I'm like, nah, I don't need it that bad, but thanks anyway, Hef. I appreciate it.
Buy the guitar for the neck plate.
Yeah, it was a good price. So I mean, knowing me, it would have been something I would have done, just because I'm that nutty sometimes when I put my mind to finding something.
Mm-hmm. Did you still want to look at the Kramer templates that you were talking about?
Yeah. If you have that, let's see it. Is it the picture? There it is right there.
I'm assuming it's this one right here.
Yeah, that's it right there. Now that's the back, so there's got to be a picture of the front somewhere too. So whoever was asking, it might be hard to see here, but they have the exact. Oh, they got it. They got the lines in purple, green, blue, whatever, light blue. That tells you exactly the stripe width of the body, and there will be one of the front somewhere too. And that's pretty much all you need to do.
Oh, look, there's the headstock right there.
Yep, they got everything there. I'm telling you guys, I mean, believe me, keep the questions coming on Messenger. I mean, I get questions every day from people, and I love answering them. I really do. But I'm telling you guys, Google is your friend. Just Google it, and you'll find it. It is out there. Or whatever search engine you use. But yeah.
Google's the best.
Oh, it's incredible.
Well, as far as search engines, I would use Google over anything else.
Oh, me as well.
You know. Oh, here's a picture I took right here.
Yeah, Johnny had. Which headstock do you like
there
when you posted that?
Yeah, those were all my guitars. Although, let's see, I don't have this one anymore.
You don't have the Peavey. I mean, you don't have the Peavey anymore.
I don't have this one anymore. And this one doesn't look like that anymore. Now it's just bare wood, that one.
Yeah. Is that the one I gave you a few years back?
No. No, the one that you gave me, I traded with Bozique.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's right.
And then he sent me the neck to the body that he had sent me.
Nice.
Thank you again, Bozique. Channel member, actually, Bozique.
Rob L says, I'm supposed to have my OLP converted to a Floyd Rose. Very cool. Awesome. That'll make the guitar that much more rock worthy or bar abuse worthy, whatever you want to call it. That's awesome.
Who's this?
A lot of that's Johnny Beane. That was at the NAMM show, what, 2 years ago? Was that the one I was there at? Or no?
It was when they announced this guitar.
Okay, so that was 3 years ago.
Whatever year that was. Yeah. Whenever that was, yeah.
Rob, do you have the pink Vandenberg Peavey? How was it? No, I don't have that one. Nope, don't have that one. But yeah, so that's the story on the mysterious neck plate. So I think I got it locked in. I think I got it dialed in. And speaking of that guitar,
that's cool,
actually, man. The status of that guitar right now is Craig has sanded the body down, and this is a picture about a week old or so, week and a half. We sanded the body down, sanded the old deep purple finish off. That's what the body looks like now. You can see it on CHS guitars.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's got a nice quilt to it. And
that's what was the finish on that? Was it a solid one or
it was a quilt top purple, but it was so deep dark it almost looked black. That's why I
okay. So you could still see the quilt before.
You could barely see the quilt. I mean, you had to have it under direct sunlight or have a light on it. That's why I didn't like it.
Because usually if the quilt is like bad, a lot of times that's when they'll make them solid colors.
Well, that's the thing. So Craig didn't know what we were going to run into. He didn't know if we were going to run into just like flat wood, like if it was just a photo finish or what. He sanded down and thought we were going to run into trouble. And then I'm like, all right, well, if you just get flat wood, just make it flat purple. That's, or gloss purple. That's fine. And then he calls me the next day. He's like, dude, this is actually a true quilt top. And I was like, wow. And he sent me that picture.
He calls you up and you hear this in the background. He's like, hey.
Yeah, that's what he heard in the background when he sent me that picture.
Well, you're answering the phone. It's like, hello.
Oh, seriously, I was so happy when I heard that. And then he messaged me this the other day. He just put the primer dye on, and it's getting prepped for the purple. So this is like a primer they put on it. It looks green, but it's really not. It's gray. He put that primer
Yeah.
on, so it's ready to go for the purple dye. So it should be coming soon. So that's the status of that guitar. So Craig's working on that. I'm wicked excited about that. That's going to be so cool. And he's doing the headstock too. And so yeah, I mean, when I get it back, it should look like a brand new guitar. Yeah. And the only other guitar, like I said, that is in the works is Jeff Rich is RCA Guitars is painting my Snake Dragon right now, along with Hubbard's. And I just got the neck in today from Chris Locke, and did a little work to it. And here is the headstock. I just painted it black today, put all the hardware on, and yeah, she's all ready to go.
Is that the one? That's not the one, was it? Remember the other day? Were you here? We were talking about the 6 in line on the headstock, but it was 3x3.
Yeah, so right. So I went back and forth with which version I wanted. Now, Ed went through a few different versions. He had gold Gatto crown heads on it, but there was three one way, three the other, and they were double tabs, and they were gold. He had those on this stock for a period of time, but he also had these on there. And if you get this issue of Player Magazine, which came out last year,
oh man,
the version I'm going for is this version. And you can tell it's the black headstock, Charvel. It's the original V-neck, but it has chrome 6 in line tuners. So I figured I'd go with that style. The only difference I'm going to do on mine, I'm going to have the jack plate is going to be gold, just like that, with a black tone knob and a white volume. And I'm going to do the white humbucker, probably going to be a Duncan 78. The only thing is that is a Charvel V-trem. And I have a Charvel V-trem on my Hydra Megazone guitar, like that too. The same thing. But I'm not going to put that on this guitar. I'm actually going to put a Floyd Rose on it. So I'm going to put a gold Floyd on it with a silver bar, because that is a silver bar, and it's got a gold tip on the end of it. So what I'm going to do.
Are you going to do the Floyd, but with the longer bar, the straight bar like that?
I'm going to take the Floyd Rose bar, put it in my vise, straighten it out, and then this just came in the mail. I got a gold tip. So what I'm going to do is do a little magic like what I did on my VH1. I'm going to take the bar after I flatten it out of my vise. I'm going to take my bench grinder and grind off the tip. So not grind it off, but narrow it down. So that way I can pound this thing and jam it on there and it'll look like it fits. And that's how I'm going to make it look like that. I did the same thing with my VH1 guitar. It's an EVH guitar. I repainted the whole body because I wanted it a little bit more accurate, not just a tribute guitar. Put a Mark Blankenship pickguard on it. Put a Gibson logo on the headstock. You guys have seen it, but I had a Floyd Rose on it. It's an EVH Floyd. But what I did was I took the bar off, and just about this width, I took it on my bench grinder and just slimmed it out just a little bit, and I got a white Strat cap, and I jammed it on the end of it so it looked more like Eddie's guitar. And everybody was like, how the hell did you do that? Where'd you find a bar that would fit on the Floyd like that? It's a Floyd bar. So I'm going to do the same thing with this gold tip, but I'm going to do one other thing so the bar looks straight. I'm just going to flatten it out of my vise, and we should be able to do that. That should work out pretty cool. And that way I can use the bar a little bit more. That guitar now, I believe, still has this black neck on it, but it's got a black Floyd Rose on it, right? I think it's got a black Floyd on it. Yeah, because that's what Hubbard put on his.
That one? Yeah, there was a picture of it with the black.
Yeah.
Black Floyd. I don't think there was anything. I think the guitar, there was no strings.
I don't think it's even strung up, actually. Yeah, right.
No.
But yeah, the Snake Dragon is in progress. So.
And the pickup might have. You're the one with those pictures. I don't have any. I don't have any of these books that you guys have.
Yeah, well, the pickup now is black. He's got a black Floyd. This is actually.
Yeah. Is it an actual black pickup though, or do you think the pickup might have had been sharpied all up? Because he's been. I know I've seen that before.
Well, back in this in this version, you can tell it's hard to see up close, but if you look at that's actually a pickup ring. Right now, that guitar has no pickup ring. It's just a big route because the pickup is actually slanted. If you see a picture of the Snake Dragon today, Johnny will pull one up.
Yeah, I'm looking. Oh, there it is. I found it.
I mean, it could be the same pickup, just sharpied or painted, but the pickup is missing.
Okay, yeah, that one's not painted. Although I've seen another guitar at some point it looked like the pickup was actually sharpied up. Okay, here's the one that Rob was just talking about. Right here.
Yeah. It's interesting because that jack or that's a Telecaster control plate, but it doesn't have any knobs on it. It's just like it's sealed. Isn't that interesting? There's no knob on it.
Is it? It's kind of hard to see. I mean, it might have holes. You just can't see it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
I don't know. Who knows?
But that neck, I believe, is the original black Charvel neck that Eddie had on the Bumblebee.
Right there, that one.
Yep. Now, so that answers my question. So
that's the one with the 3x3 tuners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because you see that space in the middle there.
Right.
Okay. Yeah.
And those are Schaller double tabs. I have a picture of actually I'll find on my phone right here of the back of that. It's a picture of I think it's a picture that Jeff Rich made in one of his templates, but it shows those are original Schaller gold double tabs. The Ibanez Shark Destroyer had 3 of them. Those are really, 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 really hard to find. But here we go. So this is what that neck actually. You can tell they're 3 and 3. Get out of here. That's annoying. So they're 3 and 3.
Whoops.
Yeah, I know, right? Or lady, of course. But no. You can tell the Charvel logo has been scratched off. Kind of interesting. Now, the back of that neck, believe it or not, was all black. The entire back of that neck was black. And Eddie sanded it off, and then it was kind of sloppy around here. And then even down here by the heel where the pocket is, there was black around here too, and you could kind of see it. I didn't do that on mine. I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to make it kind of clean, and just went for that version. I mean, all my replicas, I try to make them exact, but on my Dragon Snake guitar, I was like, that's going to be such a rare guitar to have, because not a lot of people have them, and it's going to be a professional paint job, something that I certainly could never do, or it would take me forever to do, I guess I should say. So I'm like, I'm going to make the neck kind of clean. I want it to look, somewhat sharp. So and like I said, that's why I'm kind of keeping the hardware that Eddie used, but I'm going to use put a gold Floyd on it and kind of hybrid the bar a little bit, make it look like, obviously like Ed's, but I'm going to make it work for me because I want to have it, I want to play it, so I want to have a Floyd on it. I mean, not that you need a Floyd to be able to play a guitar, but if you want to use the bar and really have fun with it, which I want to do on that guitar, I figured I would use a Floyd. And I could have just did what the guitar looks like now with a black Floyd, but I don't particularly like the look of that guitar with the black Floyd on it. I kind of think it has a little more zing when it has the gold hardware on it with the chrome stuff too.
Mm-hmm.
Just me,
Mm-hmm. Oh, I think it's cool. You ever seen this guy in this guitar?
That's Van Bonta or whatever his name. Yeah, he lives up in New Hampshire. Cool
Van
dude.
Bonta?
Mark Bonta, or what's his name? Yeah.
I don't know.
He lives up in Keene. Van
There
Bonta.
we go.
There it is, Van Bonta, yeah. His name's Mark something, I think. He's got some really cool guitars. He made one of the first yellow double necks there were.
Really?
Yep.
Oh, like the diver down.
Driver down one. Yeah.
The secrets guitar, what you guys call it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm eating apple slices, just so you guys know.
I think he painted that one. I'm pretty sure he did that himself. He did some cool. He's put out some really cool guitars. Yep, and there's Eddie with his. Guy by the name of, as we already mentioned this last show, but or a couple of shows ago, John Sterry was a furniture guy, and he's the one that took that original Gibson Explorer black body and actually did all the carving and customizing it and painting to make it look like that dragon snake. I think that's a total original idea. I don't think that came from anywhere. I think that's completely, totally original. Because I've never seen any pictures of anything like that before. Hey, Jeff, take care. I don't know if you already bounced, but Jeff said he needs to take off.
See you, Jeff.
Have a good one, buddy.
See you, man.
He's a good guitar player too. I'll tell you. I've seen Jeff post some stuff on Facebook and just jamming and stuff. He's got some awesome stuff. He's an incredible guitar player as well. I love watching the stuff he puts up.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Let's see. Man.
Floyd bars are $1.99 on Alias Express.
I'm sure you've seen this picture. Let me show this one.
I got so many parts kicking around here. I got like a box of bars, so I think I'm good. But thank you. But anybody looking to build stuff, yeah, that's definitely a good option.
I'm sure you've seen this.
Oh yeah. That's a cool picture. Now that's a rosewood neck? Look, you can see the silver dot inlays.
Looks like it.
Wow, that's cool. I've seen the picture, but I never really paid that much attention to it to notice that neck. Wow.
There's the same guitar, and if you look, it looks like it has a zebra pickup in it.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Right there, and of course you got the Schlitz, can right there, but. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
One of the original pictures of that guitar, like right after it was done. That could be like right after it was finished.
What year do you think this picture is? Do you know, or does it say? Maybe it says.
I would guess 78, 79, probably 78. I would guess.
Says it's in Dave's basement. He's wearing a Van Halen baseball. What do you call it?
Yeah, like a.
What are those shirts called? I've got a Christopher Cross one.
I just love his music.
Yeah, actually, he got the. You can't really say on YouTube, but yeah, he got the stuff. What's going around now?
Oh.
And he can't walk because of it. He put out a statement.
Wow.
Saying he was having trouble walking because of that. So,
oh my God.
So Christopher Cross, if you're watching this, which you're probably not, because I remember I blocked you years ago on Google Plus. I was getting spam from Christopher Cross on Google Plus. So I had to block him.
Take me away where I'm going.
Yeah. But anyway, all the best to Christopher Cross. Yeah. Anyway, I don't know why we're talking about that, but look at this.
Because of the jersey, it's a baseball.
Because of the jersey, that's right. Baseball jersey. But look, he's got his chain strap from the Frankenstein guitar on this one.
Oh, I didn't even notice that till you
look at it. Yeah.
Cool. I'll bet you that's probably in one of the original states of that guitar when it was finished, because I've never seen that guitar with a rosewood neck on it like that. Looks like a black headstock. and with a zebra pickup.
Zebra pickup.
Pretty cool.
And look at this. They even have those director's chairs back there.
Yeah.
That one says Eddie. Look at that. He's Marshall amp back there.
Yeah. I'll bet you that's I bet you that's like 78. I don't even think that's 79. Man, Eddie's got short hair too. Look at that.
I would think this might be 79-ish because he was playing that guitar live in 79.
Could be.
Right?
Yeah. Oh, he was. He
was.
Yeah,
he was.
Not in that configuration. Well, actually, Johnny, the video that we have of even the really awesome video
actually
playing the guitar, you can't tell. It could be just like that.
Actually, Alan Garber, good thing you're here, man. Alan's here on Facebook.
What's up,
Alan, what year do you think this picture is? Okay, he says 79.
Okay. All right. Well, he would know. Alan's pretty up to speed on all that stuff. What's going on, Clayton James?
Clayton James Hicks, 1998 Hicks, says today's Music Man Monday, Rob.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is Music Man Monday. And if you just jumped in, Clayton, if you go back a little bit, we were talking about some Music Mans. We were talking about some Music Man neck plates and stuff like that. And yeah. So.
And Grimace. We were talking about Grimace from McDonald's. We're still trying to figure out what he is.
Some kind of a oversized purple bean. So funny. Oh, gosh.
Hubbard says probably 79 rehearsals.
Yeah, but Chris, have you ever seen, and we can talk about this later, but I have never seen that guitar with a I mean the pickup doesn't really make me wonder because he was changing those all the time, but I've never seen that guitar with a rosewood neck ever. So I mean that could have lasted literally 5 minutes, really.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know,
And I've never seen Grimace at Burger King.
I did.
But you'd have.
For like 2 minutes, he walked in. He was like, "Shit, I'm in the wrong place."
Are you serious? You actually saw Grimace walk into a Burger King?
Like I said, we were at McDonald's for like a birthday party or something, and I think it was my birthday. It was like 4 or 5 years old, whatever. I'll never forget it. It was right here in the same town in Greenfield, and we're sitting in there, and they had Burger King was right next door. Ronald McDonald was there. This car pulls up, and out of the back, gets out Grimace, and he's like, whatever. And he walks into Burger King, and everybody's like, what the hell's he doing in there? And he walks in, he like stands there for a second. You can see the whole thing through the big bow window. He walks out and walks across the lawn, walks into McDonald's. He's like, oh, I'm in the wrong place. Dude, I'm telling you, it's crazy. It's so funny.
Oh, just imagine if you would have had an iPhone back then.
Oh God!
Just imagine that footage.
I can't even imagine. That is hilarious, though. That's why Grimace got kicked out of Burger King. Well. The purple turd. That's what got me.
Oh, that's funny.
So yeah, like we said earlier, for you guys that just chimed in, Jimmy Ka is going to be here tomorrow. Jimmy Ka.
Nice. Nice. Oh, and here's a picture. Well,
of Grimace.
Well, I could find those.
Oh.
Let me find a still of Eddie playing that Snake Dragon guitar live, because I've just found one, but the quality is really bad.
Oh, I thought you were going to show us a picture of Grimace.
I can show you a picture of Grimace too. Let's do that real quick to get that out of the way. How do you spell Grimace? Oh, there he is. Oh, he's every. Oh man, he is purple. Oh my God! Look at this. This is horrible.
Oh, poor Grimace.
This shows what Grimace looks like on the inside.
On the inside? I don't know if I want to see that picture.
This is what Grimace looks like on the inside.
Oh my God.
Look at his feet. It's like ketchup and mustard, and then that is so gross.
Is your legs French fries or what?
His legs are ketchup and mustard. He's got chicken nuggets. That's so gross. Oh, he's got ketchup and mustard running through his veins.
What's he doing in the other picture? He's like hoarding all the shakes or something.
Yeah, he's running off. Apparently, he has 4 arms, and
No, Ronald's waving at him.
he's like, "Where are you going?"
Hey, we got a party to do. Where are you going?
I don't remember Grimace stealing stuff. I remember the what do you call it? Would steal stuff. Had the Hamburglar.
Hamburglar, yeah.
This is so weird. That's
Who's the guy?
look, and look, he's got a straw. He's got a smashed up straw right there.
Who was the guy that was like, "I'll gladly pay you tomorrow for a cheeseburger"? Oh, that was Wimpy. Okay, I'm thinking of something different.
That's Wimpy.
Okay, that's the drugged out Grimace right there. Oh my God. That's definitely the drugged out Grimace.
This was me before the quarantine. I'm actually yeah, I've lost 10 pounds, believe it or not, since the quarantine, man.
Really?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Thank you, man. Oh, okay.
Oh God.
Oh God, these pictures are horrible. Oh, he's even got. Oh, I can't show that one.
Show it.
Oh, that's like a This is John Mancuda territory. Some of these pictures.
Oh, he'd have a field day on that. I can only imagine John Mancuda talking about Grimace.
Oh wow. Oh, there's a picture of him with a knife on a skateboard. Oh my gosh.
Of Grimace?
Oh, I can't. It's a good thing I didn't scroll through that one. That one's horrible. People really like to make fun of Grimace, man. This is terrible. Okay. All right. Let's. I think who else is here? I saw Pal Guitars. Hey, good to see you, man.
Yeah, Jimmy Carr's laughing about the whole thing. Jimmy, we're gonna have to have a.
He's laughing about Grimace.
We're gonna have to have a conversation about Grimace tomorrow. Jimmy is going to bring out his George Lynch tiger striped relic guitar, and if I have my way, it's going to stay here when he leaves. Well, no, I'm kidding. Jimmy's got some awesome stuff too. He really does.
That's cool. Huh? Is Grimace? I don't know. Is Grimace and Barney related? I'm sure they are.
My Barney? No.
Barney Barney's a dinosaur.
Yeah, I know. The Barney. Yeah, Barney's.
Barney.
All right, we should ask some questions. Who's got some questions?
Ask some questions.
The big question is, am I leaving with it? Jimmy, it's going to be like a me trip to Nesdal's house. I never go home with what I came with.
You better hurry up and get to his place though, because it looks like he's having a yard sale over there.
Oh, Nesdal?
Yeah.
Hey, he's selling everything.
Everything must go.
I actually asked Nesdal yesterday. I'm like, hey, if you ever decide you want to get rid I said, I know you're selling a bunch of guitars, but I said, if you ever want to get rid of that Peavey Wolfgang striped Peavey, you know, the 98 striped guitar, let me know. He goes, oh, it's already gone. I got rid of that a month ago. I'm like, huh? Like, all right, never mind. Craig, what's going on, buddy? CHS Guitar. Craig is here. Craig, we were just talking about you. I was showing you some pictures, of
Grimace.
Of Grimace. of the guitar, of my guitar that you're doing, and how, just real quick, as Craig's here, you know, how he didn't know if it was a photo finish or what the heck it was when he was sanding down. And he's like, we'll just do the best we can. And he got down and he's like, dude, he goes, I don't think you're going to, this is just going to be like wood. And I'm like, all right, that's fine. Just make it, you know, purple, whatever. And I get a call a couple of days later. He's like, dude, this is a freaking real quilt. and he sent me those pictures that I showed all you guys, and I was like, wow. So it was definitely some pretty good news. So Craig is redoing my Purple Music Man, and if you guys want to get on CHS guitars, Craig just redid a Peavey Wolfgang. I think it was I don't think it was an EXP. I want to say it was a custom shop or something. It was some kind of I think it was a Peavey body, and he's redoing it in like a beautiful kind of like a baby blue quilt. He did his thing with a binding, and it looks beautiful. He showed me a picture of it about a week or so ago when he got it all sanded down, and it's got a beautiful quilt pattern on it. And he's turning it into blue right now, and I think he put a first couple coats of clear coat on it, and it just looks amazing. So get over there and check that Peavey Wolfgang body that Craig's working on now. Looks amazing.
Cool. Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah,
Dwight. All right. I'm looking for a. Okay, here we go. Oh crap! It's moving. I'm looking for a good still just to show you of Eddie playing that guitar live back in '79. Because yeah, we were just talking about that. Okay, here's one. You can kind of. Let me find StreamYard. Actually, can I zoom in? Oh, there we go. I can zoom in. There we go. Perfect. All right, here's Eddie. Here's a still of him playing that guitar in '79. The one that Rob's working on. Okay, right there.
Yeah, now that looks like a maple neck to me, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Ooh, Greg just sent me a really cool.
Is that the Discord?
That is. Hold on, I'm gonna send you guys a picture here. Craig just sent me this picture. Oh, Barney's dreaming over here. Okay, check this out, guys. This is Craig's guitar that he's doing now. Not mine. He's working on my music man, but this is his Peavey that I was just telling you. Look at that. It almost looks like a flame, but I don't think it's flame. I think it's quilt. And he had
That's
that.
nice.
Oh, it's beautiful. Even it looks like you can jump in it, swim in it. It looks beautiful. And look at the for those of you guys that are considering having some work done or having a Music Man or a Peavey Wolfgang or pretty much any guitar, really, because Craig just redid my Kramer last year, refinished. You know, I mean, you got GMW and you got a lot of other amazing companies, and those guys are awesome, amazing. But if you're looking for someone a little bit more local or one of our Van Halen guys, check out Craig CHS Custom Guitars, because not only is he's a great friend, a good guy, fun to hang out with. He's been a friend of mine for a number of years now. He does amazing work. But what I really like about his guitars now is he's gotten into redoing the bindings and stuff. And the bindings on a lot of these guitars that he's doing are just great. When he actually came to me, you know, when I sent him the Music Man, he goes, "Want me to redo the binding?" And I'm like, "Nah, that's okay." And then he ended up, I saw a couple of his pictures, and I was like, "Yeah, go ahead, redo the binding," because it looks great. Now, what's that picture from, Johnny? That's cool.
That's another still right there.
Wow, that's an up close one. That's
Up close of it, and yeah, you can see that's definitely it's a maple neck on that one.
yeah. Now like I said, minus the Floyd. That's the actual version I'm going for on this guitar on my version. I'm gonna do the Floyd. This is the neck I just got in from block. I just painted the headstock today for the hardware on. But that's the version I'm gonna go for on that. And I think that'll be pretty cool. Oh, Craig says 5/8 quilt top on that guitar. That's what it was. Yeah, you can tell. It looks pretty cool. Yeah, Craig's done. You're right, Jeremy. He does fantastic work. The first project Craig did for me was the first one. I think was my Green Music Man. He did that. Did an amazing job on that. And then that went to Nesdal. And the next guitar he did for me after that was my Strat, my Lake Placid Blue Mexican Strat. He turned it into a like a yellow creamish Yingbe Strat, scalloped the neck, and that's the other thing Craig does, guys, too. If you ever want to have a neck scalloped, or Craig, I don't know if you do refrets or not. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. I don't know, but Craig does a lot of work on necks too, and he does a really good job. He scalloped neck on that guitar, on my Yingbe guitar. It's amazing. And then he just did my blue Kramer. He redid my Kramer Pacer to that like metallic flake sky blue. Now he's doing my purple Music Man. There's another picture. Yeah. So Johnny, that rosewood neck he had on there, man, I'm telling you, that had to be short-lived. Had to be. Because he also had a maple neck. Actually, he also had the original VH1 neck on that snake guitar for a while too. I have pictures downstairs in my magazine collection.
Yeah.
The actual Snake Dragon with the original VH1 neck, the oversized kind of CBS style headstock.
Yeah.
Pacific Blue, Craig says, yeah, that's what he did to my Kramer. And that still is one of my favorite playing guitars. I guys, wait till you see, like I said earlier, wait till you see my new Music Man that he's doing, purple. It was really, really dark, like too dark, like just you couldn't even see it. And he's redoing it now. It's going to look like something just came off the Music Man showroom. Yeah, there's another one. That video, these are stills Johnny's showing from, I think it's a 79 era video. These are the cleanest shots of we could ever imagine to find a video from that era.
Remember, we had these videos back in the day on VHS, but they were terrible.
You could barely
awful.
tell what guitar he was playing.
You could barely tell who was playing. You know, if you couldn't hear them, they were bad.
Yeah, but those were like fourth, fifth generation tapes or something like that.
More like 20th or 30th. They were terrible. They were terrible.
He cleaned them up real good.
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah. Well, I mean, it's you know, it's the guy that has them. Oh, actually, how come I'm not showing these? I should be showing. This is what I should be showing, right here. You can really see it. Wait a minute. Yeah. Yeah. That's a little blurry, but you can see it.
Yeah. Shut the shade just a little bit. There we go. That's a bit better. Oh yeah.
There has to be like super clean pictures of him playing that guitar somewhere.
The funny thing is yeah, I mean, there's so many pictures of him playing the Frankie and the Bumblebee and the Shark and all those.
There has to be like really.
Yeah.
Actually,
there's really not a lot of pictures of actually stills of Ed playing the Snake Dragon.
Here's kind of a nice. This one's kind of nice. There has to be like really good ones, like somewhere, like that have never been released.
I bet you Waz has got a lot of them. Niels Zlozauer or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Zlozauer,
yeah. Yeah, that's right. JP Page too. Those are the Fresno videos, and that updated, cleaned up one is just insane. Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah. Right, Barney?
What do you think? He's ready for his walk. Who's that?
Yeah, I'll probably go for some sort of a walk. Well, later.
I would love to get a full, like Johnny said, I had not the whole show, but I had, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes of footage of that Fresno show. I would love to get on DVD like a cleaned up copy like that of that cleaned up footage. That would be really cool to have.
Mm-hmm.
It's so enjoyable to watch too when you're looking at it like that, you know. Yeah, you're right, Jeremy. Craig he also is a very good player too. He does an amazing job. It's always fun to watch him play. Craig always brings his his Peavey 5152 head to the EVH Con each year, and we all get to play to that. Craig's got a hell of a setup. He's an amazing player, and he's got a heck of a sick sounding rig. He's got a great wet dry wet rig. That was a cool pick too, Joe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you guys, next time you do one of those, you know, or Craig, I don't know how you record your stuff because you know, Craig plays on Facebook.
Yeah.
Actually,
actually, Johnny, it'd be fun to get Craig on the show sometime. Have him jump in. He could. I don't. You know, he could elaborate a little bit on CHS guitars. I think it'd be pretty cool. And he could talk a little bit about his setup and what he does. He's got some pretty cool guitars too. And Craig he doesn't just do the factory finish stuff. He also does some pretty cool 5150s and some. I think he did a Hot for Teacher. I mean, he kind of specializes in the more factory type finishes, but he will do some relicking stuff too. Craig did a really cool thing about 2 years ago or so, and I always love playing the guitar when I see him, whether it's at his place or at Pete's place or whatever. He did a Kramer 5150 version. I guess the out of the gate version is what I call it. It's like right after it got finished, you know, before the stickers were on it, before Eddie even took it on tour. And the only little nick is that top. There's a little nick where it scratches the paint down, and the red paint down to the white, and one of the black stripes up on the top of the guitar. If you're holding it up towards the top by the horn, and everything else is great. And when you do that version of that guitar, you really got to be careful on the black stripe that goes down to the body where the 5150 space tape would be. Because on the original one, on Eddie's, whoever painted it, whether it was George Felice or Paul Unkert or whoever it was that painted it, they messed up and they stopped the stripe, and then they kind of they separated it. And I know Johnny knows what I'm talking about. But there's some overspray. Yeah. It's like a totally different like angle how it takes off. And if you do that version, you don't do that. You can kind of get away with it if you put the 5150 stickers on it because it's harder to notice. But if you don't do that and you do what Craig did, you really got to nail that if you're going to try to make an accurate replica. And he did. And I remember Craig and I were on the phone because I was trying to give him a little bit of my 2 cents. Not that that means anything, but we were kind of going back and forth. I'm like, yeah, that looks cool. Try this. And he nailed it. He did a great job. And Craig has one of the only versions of that era of the 5150. And I like it. Craig, you say early 84 version, but actually it's technically late 83 version because that guitar was done in 83. And yeah,
like this
a little bit, but because Eddie put the space tape on that guitar about a quarter of the way into the 84 tour, but that guitar was backstage of the Ostfest in 83.
Like that.
Yeah, that's the version Craig did. And see that black stripe I'm talking about, guys? If you got a ruler out, the bottom portion of that black stripe, you can see a little bit of black bleed that goes down through too. It's completely off. It just doesn't even line up right.
And it looks like the paint dripped there, or maybe
that one is a paint drip. Yes, the one down by the volume knob is a cigarette burn. But that one, Johnny,
that looks like a little drip right there, and you can see the right there. You can see some of the overspray.
Yep.
It looks like, and you can see right there how it's not straight.
Yes.
like it comes down and then kind of almost like he was coming down this way and then like turned a little bit.
Let's see if
And then yeah, this right here, as far as we've always seen, this cigarette burn has always been there.
Yep.
Right there.
I've never seen a picture of that guitar without that.
Yeah. Actually, well, can you see the picture on that US Festival picture? Can you see close enough if that's actually there?
Possibly. It's kind of hard. I'm actually looking for that picture of him standing there with a red jacket on. I have a really, really good picture of it, and it's kind of a front-on shot. And that really shows kind of like how that black stripe goes. And this is all geeky stuff, but I mean, if you're really nailing one of those guitars, it's pretty cool to kind of get into that.
Oh, I just found it. I just found it.
You got it?
I just found it.
The one I'm talking about?
The US Festival one?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah,
That
show
one?
that one. I'll see if I can find this other one.
Okay, I'll show that.
Yeah, there it is. It's hard to tell about that little cigarette burn, but hey, you might be right.
I know. Unless that's it right there. There's a little something right there. Yeah, it's so
All right,
small.
look at this picture. Here's me and Craig and Pete last summer outside. I'm holding the guitar that was out there. That's the guitar that Craig built. I don't know if we were all drunk, but I don't know, Craig, if you're trying to throw me in the pool. That's Pete, and I'm holding Craig's guitar.
Are you okay there?
I was okay. I was doing great. I think I had about 6 vodkas under me. I'm like,
Oh my gosh. It looks like they're holding you up.
I was sitting in a chair, and I'm trying to find that other picture though. But no, that's the guitar, and he did an awesome job on that. Oh gosh, and the thing that ticks me off is I just had this picture the other day. Just had it. I was just looking at it on my phone, and it's so hard to find, you know. But
Hey Andrew. Hey now.
no, here's a couple other. These are too blurry. You don't want to see that one. They have pictures of the dragon snake. Where is that? Where is it? Oh, such a cool picture too.
Oh.
Craig's sending me messages.
Andrew, you can watch there. You can watch on Facebook. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at the same time.
I'm finding all these other cool pictures though that we just don't have time to talk about. But
Jay says something. Hey Jay. Yeah, I know Jay. That was loud, man.
Ding.
Jay is saying if Kramer would never have gone under and Eddie stayed with them, do you think he would have eventually repainted it, meaning the Kramer 5150, right?
I would imagine so. All right, here's a cool picture.
I don't think he would have repainted it. I think he probably would have moved on to another guitar at some point. I think.
Yeah, I don't think we would have repainted.
I think that's probably what would have happened. Yeah. Yeah.
There's that cigarette burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely a paint bleed. Yeah, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the one I was actually looking for, but it came right up there.
Yeah. Hey, Metal Mike.
Hey, Mike, what's going on? Let's see.
Here's my buddy. Right here. Actually, we talk all the time. He will be here at some point. We're actually planning something pretty cool for you guys. My friend Michael. There he is, right there.
Oh yeah, Michael Gutierrez.
Gutierrez, yeah. I've played that guitar too.
That guitar was given. Oh, here's the picture. I got it.
That guitar is awesome.
Yeah, that guitar was given to him. He won it in the contest in the 1985 NAMM show.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Craig says, I was told by George that Ed came in when everyone was out to lunch and did the V8, the V black stripes using a folder. That story is, I don't know what guitar you're talking about. Might be the Neptune, but I know that particular, Paul Unkert told us the story, the actual Neptune guitar, all those black drips and all the stuff on it. They painted the guitar and then went out to lunch, and Ed came in and just sprayed the polka dots all over in the paint and ran. I guess Paul told me point blank. Nesdal and I were with him and everything, with Anthony Sajazi. He was like, I was so pissed when he did that. Came in at lunchtime and sprayed all the black on it. But so here's the picture that I was talking about. This is probably one of the cleanest ones I've ever seen.
Right.
And you can see that body. I look like Steve Anderson on my face down here in the picture.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Here, I'll show it. I'll show it on the screen because yeah, I've got that. Here's the one you were just talking about. The Kramer Neptune, the guitar that we saw together a year ago at the Hard Rock in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's the one. No, and apparently Eddie sprayed the black on that, and that's why it looks so like, you know.
Mm-hmm. The circle, these.
Yeah.
And then
questions here.
What was I just saying?
You're talking about well, we were talking about Michael.
I just forgot.
Guitar, but
after that, I said there was something else. Oh, I was going to show that. That picture you're just showing.
Oh yeah.
Because I posted that on Instagram. That's right. Let me get over to my other Instagram. Let's see. Oh wait, Greg Runoff. He just tagged me in something.
Greg's a cool dude.
Yeah, actually, he'll be here as well. We're booking all the guests. Greg Runoff will be here in May, and if you weren't here earlier, just confirmed Billy Sheehan for May 1st, which is a week from this Friday.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that'll be fun. That'll be fun. Yeah, Runoff. He just tagged me. Wait. It looks like... Which account is that? Dimebag Darrell. Is it right? Where is it? It looks like the Dimebag Darrell official account on Instagram reposted Joshua Jones. I think that's what he just tagged me in. That's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Josh right there. Awesome. Awesome.
What did Craig just send me?
EVH Gear Live. All right, I'll show that picture really quick. Should be down here a little ways. There it is. Is that? Oh no, this is another one.
Real quick, here's a picture of Craig's guitar.
Real quick.
That's actually his. You can tell he nailed the. Did a real good job of that black stripe right there. Did an awesome job of that. And again, that's basically what the guitar looked like pre-84 tour, and even during the beginning of the 84 tour, because we think that Eddie put the space tape on. And here's another picture of the back of where the neck plate is, or the stripe. You can tell he did a great job of kind of recreating the overspray effect. And those holes you see there, that's for the tray table, the waiter's table.
That's cool.
Yeah, I did really cool. The 5150, I'm telling you, that's a tough guitar to recreate. It looks, I mean, to accurately really recreate it and get all the little flaws and stuff, it's easy to make one, look like a factory guitar. That's cake. But to really recreate yeah, there you go. Now that's probably one of the best pictures of that black line. If you took a ruler and you put it on that black line from the top to bottom, the bottom portion wouldn't even be close to lining up. Because a lot of people have asked me, how did they paint the black stripes on the striped guitars, and why do the black stripes always seem to have an overly overspray effect that a lot of the white ones didn't have, or very inconsistently? And I can tell you exactly why, because I've had some pretty good conversations with Paul Unkert, who used to build and paint some of these guitars. One of the things they did on the black stripes, they used tape for all of the white stripes, right? 1/2-inch tape, 3/4, 1/8, whatever. But you know what they did for 90% of the black stripes and why they look so like oversprayed? They had 2 pieces of cardboard, and they basically just laid it on here and laid it on here and adjusted the width and just went. Shh. There was nothing holding there was no like tape holding it down. There were just 2 pieces of cardboard laying on the body about that width, and they just did a quick stripe job, and they never taped off around the border on the side of the guitar. They just sprayed it, and that's why you always have that massive overspray effect. That's why you have that massive overspray effect on the sides, because they didn't have anything taped off. They did the black stripes really, really, really quick. Thank you, Lisa. I wouldn't say knowledgeable. There's just a lot of useless information in my brain that I picked up over the years, mostly from other people telling me things. But thank you very much. Thank you, Mike, too. Appreciate it.
Thank you for watching.
Yes, thank you. And it's all kidding aside. At least it's funny. I've been building and painting these guitars and customizing these things since 1990, beginning of 96. And it's been so much fun doing all this stuff. And when I started, the internet was just kicking off, and we were in the dial-up phase, and you could still find some cool stuff, but all the pictures of all this stuff was not on the internet like it is today. I had to basically do all my stuff through guitar magazines. Literally everything that I did was through guitar magazines, and just hoping that you had as many pictures of the right angles. And I can't tell you how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Van Halen guitars I've painted over the years for myself and for other people. And now, like we said, you got guys like Hubbard doing it, and Nick the Kid doing the relic jobs and just knocking it out of the park. I mean, Scott Smith and I joke all the time. We're like, yeah, we don't even want to do it anymore. Let these kids do it because they're good at it. And then you got guys like Craig and these other people now redoing the Music Mans and the Wolfgangs. It's been such a fun ride for the last 25 years building these things. And now the knowledge is literally right there at your fingertips, along with every picture you could possibly imagine.
Yeah. Did you see this one?
Yeah, that was on, I think David Bertinelli posted that today, didn't he?
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. David Bertinelli
is Valerie's brother. He's been posting some awesome pictures.
Mm-hmm. And David, if you're watching this, very cool, man.
Yeah,
very cool. Awesome pictures.
Coming, Dave. Awesome. And thank you. Connor Johnson 5150 says, Rob, didn't Eddie used to go into the Kramer factory and tell him he wanted a new guitar painted by the end of the day? That's true. One of the stories that Paul told, we went out to dinner with Paul Unkert a few years ago. And we were there chatting with him, and he was telling us all these stories, showing us the most cool pictures. I actually brought my Neptune guitar, the first one I did. I brought it out to him, and he was checking it out, and he actually stamped under the neck plate Unk, because he built Eddie's original. And I showed him my Steinberger and whatever, and I got to see Paul Unkert's shop, and he showed us the original templates that he still has for the hockey stick headstocks. There was actually 3. There was the original template for the 5150. There was the original template for the Hot for Teacher. And then there was the original template for the Kramer ad guitar. Each one of them was a little bit different. And they would use those 3 templates for Eddie's guitars, for the hockey stick headstocks. And he still had all the same stuff. And anyways, he used to joke, and he would say Eddie would show up in the morning at the Kramer factory sometimes. And he would be like, all right, I need a guitar by the end of the day. He'd show up at like 9, 10 o'clock in the morning and say, I'll be back at 6, 7 o'clock tonight, and I need a guitar all put together, painted and everything. Now, we're not talking just one coat of paint. We're talking white paint, taped up, red paint, taped up, black paint. So, you know, they were using that Schwinn bicycle paint stuff at the time. And for any of you guys that have painted a guitar or anything, that stuff, you know, that takes a lot of the reasons these guitars were so primitive looking was because they had to knock it out in about 8 hours and get it back to him because he was showing up. And that's not just painting, that's putting the hardware on, wiring it, everything. And Eddie would come back at the end of the day and he expected a guitar to take home. And it was just so funny how he said that he would do that. And he also said that there was no rhyme or reason for any of I mean, Eddie wanted a red guitar with white stripes and just a few black stripes. The key was, I don't want too many black stripes on it. He never wanted that many black stripes. And he didn't really necessarily care what the pattern was. That's why every one is a little bit different. And the reason that you'll see some of his guitars are like a Chevy orange red, like a very light red, and others are a darker, like a super red 2, like a duplicolor color, is because Paul Unkert literally said we would grab whatever was there. We would literally willy-nilly, is what he said. We'd grab this paint, grab this tape, cut the stripes with a ruler and X-Acto knife. There was no, okay, I got to use this tint red and this tint white. It was whatever they had laying around they used. It's really, really, really cool. There's a cool picture right there. It's something in the background that
Yeah, right there, huh? Right there. So he took the neck off that, huh?
Yeah.
Took the neck off that body and put it on the other body. That's awesome. Oh, here's more of them. Like this.
That is actually them building. There's Dennis Berardi. They're building the Kramer ad guitar there.
Mm-hmm.
Any of you guys know why the headstock on that? You see pictures of him playing an unfinished body like that, but the headstock's all painted. It's a little bit of trivia for you guys. I know Johnny and I know the reason, but
well, we kind of just said.
Well, yeah, but
we kind of just said. But in the chat, what do you think? What do you think? And then I know we gotta wrap it up pretty quick. You said you got
Greco. I'm going to be careful how I answer that, just because it's a little bit of friction with that whole project, which I'm sure you're aware of, and I don't want to get involved in it. But I'm going to say yes, it's an amazing thing to check out. Yeah, I have one and I love it, and yeah, it's really cool. So if you have a chance to grab one, yeah, it's definitely worth it.
You've seen this picture, right?
Yeah, that's an awesome picture.
It's the Frankenstein in the back, and then the one in front of it is the Kramer ad. So it was like Kramer's like copy of that guitar. And then that's the guitar that he played on the South American dates. And thank you, Jay Hannon, for liking the tweet for this video.
Some awesome pictures. And there is Eddie and Nam playing it next to Dennis Berardi.
Yeah. Yeah, right there. And look who I have. Look,
Ned! I was wondering when he was going to jump up on the table.
look who I have here. Are those replica camels? Those are originals. Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
That was Eddie's baby guitar at that time, and he was looking for Kramer to put something together that just was like a version of that. And like I said, he just fell in love with that headstock, you know. And the first time that most of us really got to see that combination of a Strat body and a hockey stick headstock was the Kramer 5150. The Kramer ad guitar was kind of short-lived, and a lot of people didn't get a chance to really see it. He played it, like Johnny said, on the South American leg of the tour. And from what I hear, Scott Smith told me that when he saw them play in Philadelphia in '83, Ed played the ad guitar too, which was interesting because I never thought he played it in the U.S. Version. So he must have played it just at the tail end of the U.S. tour.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know. I never knew that like a year or so ago.
Yeah. I've seen some pictures.
Oh, didn't he like break his hand or something? And he's got wearing like a cast on his wrist. Wasn't that in the U.S. Portion of that tour?
Yeah, and he's playing that guitar. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so he did.
All right. I know you said you got to get out of here by.
Yeah, I got some company coming in about 15 minutes.
2, 3, 4. Yeah, it's like 5 o'clock there.
Well, those of you guys, hey Chad, what's going on, buddy? Good to hear from you.
You, Chad?
But those of you guys, like I said, maybe we can put something together. Maybe it won't be able to be a long show, but maybe we could go live for just a few minutes, anyways. And with Jimmy Carr here tomorrow, Jimmy will be coming to visit the Rob household with the Van Halen room. So it should be a fun day.
Cool.
I'll talk offline about putting it together, Johnny, if we could.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you so much. And executive producers are Charles Green, Music Therapy Laz, Robbie Johnston, Mike Neese, and Michael Smith. They are all channel members, which if you want to become a channel member and get more and more exclusive content behind the scenes, just click the join button below. Thank you to our channel members: Charles Green, Kick Tony, Charlie S., Mike Neese, Mickey Settlemeyer, Lenny Lou, Bozique, Robbie Johnston, False Flag, David Ennis, Michael Smith, Hal Face, James Gum, Mr. BHB Jr., Frag 5150, Frank Corcoran, Thomas Santiago, Fender Guru, Music Therapy Laz, Ghost PC Rich, Hugh Caldwell, and Jim Nicholas. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Rob.
Thank you, Johnny. Had a great time. Good.
Yeah.
Fun.
Yeah. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow.
Early. And for those of you guys, last thing, check out. You'll be hearing more about my new baby balance rig, which Hubbard and I will be building. And just a quick teaser picture for you guys to see, and we'll talk about it in the future. That is going to be it. Rob's baby balance rig. That is a Peavey 5150 20-watt micro head with 3 EVH 1x12 cabs. Furman power supply with I think it's a QSC power amp, Eventide time factor, Bray box, and a PS6 harmonist. And just last thing I'll say on that particular amp, everybody's going to be like, where the hell did you get a 20-watt micro head 5150? That's it right there. It is a 6505, which is basically the same thing as a 5150. And Hubbard modified it, put a 5150 and Peavey logo in there. And that's his 5150 100-watt head. And that is my new 20-watt micro head. And that little thing smokes. And it's going to power those 3 wet, dry, wet 1x12 cabs. So it's going to be pretty cool. So stay.
All right. All right. See you guys tomorrow.
Have a good night, everybody. Enjoy.
Johnny Beane TV.